Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back once again to good old F1 Manager 2022 with a 2023 slight twist. Anyway, so the funny thing is, I don't know how many people are here, probably not many to be fair, but Ollie, hello, good evening, sir. Yes, for those of you watching this after the event, I decided that I was going to do a private stream of this because I didn't have time to record a session yesterday because I was a bit busy, and then I started streaming it privately. I was about 5 minutes in and I thought to myself, hang on a second, why am I talking to myself? Because I'm sure I started to do these kind of impromptu streams public before I went on holiday. So I thought, so I cancelled and deleted the other private stream that I'd started and then started this one. So yeah, I had a bit of forgetfulness. Sure you'll forgive me. So this is one of those impromptu moments where rather than doing it privately, I might as well speak to somebody. So there you go, a surprise stream indeed. How many streams is that this week? 3? I'm doing very well. I've come back from holiday with a renewed vigour. Anyway, here we are, the Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa, classic circuit, one of my favourite circuits, although rather unfortunately, 2 weeks ago I was on holiday and I read that in the news that another driver had been killed in a race at Spa a couple of weeks ago, which is the second driver now within, 4 years? So there's going to be some kind of talk about the safety of the circuit, but yeah, it's very sad indeed, but it is one of my favourite tracks, I must say. Driven on it many a time in many a computer game. Would love to go in real life. I think you've been on your Jam. Would love to go in real life. Maybe I better get myself there before they scrap it off the calendar. It's it's Eau Rouge again, and it is by today's standards. If you look at the tracks, by today's standards, it is a very unsafe set of corners, and it's very very quick, flat out corners, but blind because of the hill. So if they were going to change the layout of the circuit, they'd probably change that, and that is one of the most striking features of the track. But you've got to say that safety comes first, I suppose. But anyway, hello Louis love, welcome. So yeah, a bit of bad news there, but yeah, we're here now, and we're gonna see how we fare. We have brought 2 new upgrades to the table, just little minor upgrades, slight chassis and side pod upgrades, nothing major. They've just been rushed through, so I can't expect any massive gains. Although it has brought us into the top 10 in top speed and acceleration now, so we're like the 5th best car in top speed and acceleration, which was our weakness. We're the 9th best car or 9th and 10th best car when it comes to engine cooling now as well. No, brake cooling, sorry. I think it's brake cooling. So these little kind of upgrades that we're just kind of slotting in, focusing on top speed, are actually helping, making a bit of a difference. Compared to the massive upgrades that we brought at the start of the season for the wings and the underfloor. These little ones do add up. So we'll see how it fares. We have returned from the summer break. The other cars may have brought upgrades too. We'll see. But as you can see from the grid, we locked out the front row again. A couple of tenths quicker than our nearest rival, who was Sergio Perez in the Red Bull, who's not having the greatest of seasons, but he's driven really well here today. You'll notice there's an absence of Max Verstappen here. That's because he got knocked out in qualifying 2. Must have just had 2 runs where he encountered traffic, because he got a really appalling time in Q2, and he did have 2 runs, so just got held up in traffic, it seems. What a tragedy. Bottas has got a penalty, Magnus has got a penalty. The Ferraris are going to be in the mix for the podium. You might have to suggest that we might just streak off into the distance again, but hey, you never know. Stranger things have happened. So yes, let's dive in then, and let's get cracking. Because I'm playing football at 8 o'clock. And although it is only 5, I've got to get ready, get there. Maybe have a slight snack. I literally just finished work at 4:30, which is the latest I finished for quite a while, because I've been on catch-up all week because of my leave, and I'm trying to catch up, but every time I knock one task off my to-do list, another 2 come on. So it's been a slog of a week, I must admit, and I can't believe and can't wait for the weekend. Can't believe tomorrow's Friday already. The week has flown by. I've been that busy.
The time has come to fight it out. It's race.
Let me know
McLaren did well during qualifying.
what the volume
They
level
maximised their potential
is
and
like.
are in a good position for the race today. These past few days, Ferrari
Because
have
ever
been
since we've had
absolutely
that
thrilling
blip
their fans.
with the
Now let's
sound,
see if they can make the
can't
tifosi
find a
proud
happy
by
balance.
capitalising on that grid position.
So
And
what?
the race will be taking place under
So I'm
blue
going to talk
skies.
over him
That means
so you
the
can
teams
assess
should
the
be
levels.
able to apply their strategies without any added complications.
What I've done
Well,
this, what I've done
will be
now.
Another Belgian Grand Prix for the ages. So stick around and find out.
Stick
how it
around,
all
folks.
ends.
Stick around. Yeah. So what I've done now is I've actually increased the sound of the volume. We've increased the sound of the volume in OBS now. I've boosted the volume in OBS, so that should help as well. So we'll see. We'll see. So I've turned up the volume of the headset in the Windows menu, which increases the sound volume, and I've now increased the sound in OBS too. But it's just a case of figuring out what number is correct or the best in terms of the volume level. I used to have the volume set to level 26, and that was more than adequate. I've now got the level set at 34 with a 5 decibel boost in OBS, so we'll see if that does the trick. Anyway, dry race is scheduled. We had rain in practice 1, so no major dramas there. If we're looking at the strategies, which I didn't look at the strategies pre-race, I went for the blind strategy of just seeing what happens. But, oh, surprise, surprise, it is medium onto hard. That could well be the best strategy. Oh, I see. I didn't expect that. I tell you, it's a surprise to me, is that. Right, let's go with that strategy. That's slower, that's slower. Yeah, quicker strategy, 1 stop, medium onto hard. We've got fresh tyres of both, plenty of tyre wear in hand. It's going to be a pretty dull race when it comes to the strategy, and it's dry. So, yeah, the best strategy races where the action hots up is where there's slightly different strategies, where there might be a bit of a crossover between a 1 and a 2 stop, all this kind of stuff. But when it's like this, well, what can we do? Right, let's go. Let's push off the line. Push off the line. Now you'll notice, or you may have noticed from the qualifying times, that Lando Norris's time was only 5/1000ths of a second slower than Hamilton's qualifying time. So this could be a track where Norris pushes Hamilton pretty hard. We shall find out right now as we dive in.
We have beautiful blue skies overhead. As the
All right, let's
You
go.
can hear the excitement in the crowd
The man
here.
waves the
at
flag.
Belgian Grand Prix.
The lights are on. Norris is pointing right towards Hamilton here.
Lights out. and
Away we go. Right down we go. The race to the source hairpin. And Hamilton and Norris are side by side. No incidents here. It looks like Norris has just edged Hamilton slightly wide there onto the rumble strip. He's tucked up now in the gearbox, which we ride on board through the fast-sweeping Eau Rouge section here. Hamilton in the lead, but will Norris get a slipstream? Will he get a slipstream? Oh, it's looking like he's not getting a slipstream. Perez has lost a position to Sainz, it seems. Gasly has made a position on Leclerc. Gasly in P5 in the Aston Martin. That's quite a turn up for the books. As Norris is looking up the inside of Hamilton here as we go down the section of the course, which I've completely forgotten the name. Le Combe, I think this section is called. This is another corner here. Try to remember the corner names before the session so I could give you something more insightful than, oh, we're turning a corner here. But memory
are climbing.
memory like a sieve. Well, this is Pouon here, apparently. Yep. Double left-hander as Norris is in the slipstream, but struggling to pass here. We might have to wait for the DRS to open, and then the fun and games will start as we continue, as we swap positions in some kind of strange dance. But anyway, we'll see. We're going to turn down all of the dials here. We have already got rid of the DRS range of Sainz, who's already falling back here as we go round Blanchimont.
With this tyre.
as we approach the end of the first lap. I missed the old bus stop chicane, I must admit. As we turn right and left, final chicane going into the straight, and one lap is being completed of this 44 lap race. As we have an incident in Sector 3, looks like Vesti has crashed. Vesti has indeed crashed. The camera is all shaky and frazzly. It looks like it could have been a big one. And it's a safety car, is it? Is it a virtual safety car? It's a full-blown safety car. Lap 1 of the race, we have a safety car situation.
We've had a big crash here.
Big crash. Let's watch it.
have a look.
Let's see the
Now
replay.
just focus on the hat.
So the Haas of Vesti.
That's a
Oh!
big smash.
Oof!
They'll have felt that.
That was quite a big one. It was indeed. We've got Vesti out of the race. We've got Guan Yu Zhou out of the race. Big crash. First lap of the race. So we have a safety car. Repeat, we have a safety car situation where we're going to turn down, of course, all of the dials to conserve tyres, to conserve fuel, that we can now later push on in the race. The safety car now comes out, collects us all up, and we shall tootle behind it at the speed of a snail in comparison to our normal speed, as we no doubt
So the safety car is in this lap. The safety car is in this lap.
clear the debris from the track, and the safety car is ending now. A quick short blast of the safety car, nothing major. We will be attacking off the line here as Hamilton becomes the safety car for now, as he takes the grid around,
Stay close.
allowing enough time for the safety car to peel into the pits. When is he going to put his foot down? As the drivers line up behind him, is he going to
Just a
go?
reminder how late
Not
the
yet.
line is. No overtaking. To
Normal racing conditions resumed. It's looking like we're going. It's go, go, go here. It's go, go, go. As Hamilton got away cleanly. It looks like Norris is going up the inside here, having a challenge. Hamilton not getting the up. Oh, he's just about staying ahead there of Norris. We've got Sainz in third. Perez is still in fourth. Side by side, coming down to the hairpin here. Hamilton's got a bit of breathing room. Gasly still in fifth. Leclerc is in sixth. Vettel is in P7. Remember our little story with Vettel in the last race. Bless him, finished 11th. Oh, so close to a point, but he shouldn't have stayed out on those tyres, should he? Alonso in 8th, Russell in 9th. Where is Daniel Ricciardo? He's down in P17. Not great. But anyway, look at this. We're going down the Camel Straight, and Norris is tucked up as close as can be behind Lewis Hamilton here, giving him an absolute nightmare of a time. You've got no time to breathe, sir. No time to breathe, because you've got your teammate all over the back of you like a rash. An absolute rash, as we continue to pull away from Sainz, as we expect. Nothing happening here. We're of course waiting for the DRS. Probably it seems to be quite difficult to pass here. I do seem to recall that actually in this game it's more difficult to pass in Spa than it is in real life. I seem to recall that. I remember reading it somewhere and then noticing it in the first race of the race last season, the first time we were here. That it actually seems to be more tricky than in real life to pass here. But because this is, as I said in previous episodes, this is where cars generally take their engine penalties. Because A, it's a long lap, so plenty of chances to get back, and it's one of the easier tracks to overtake on, so it makes perfect sense to take your engine penalties here if you think you can make up the positions and get into a respectable position by the end of the race. But anyway, we're down lap 5 now, starting lap 5. We still are Hamilton, Norris, Sainz, Perez, Gasly and Leclerc. The world champion has really been disappointing this season, it must be said. Really, he set the championship alight last season. Was absolutely on the pace in most races. A couple of good battles with Verstappen. Won the championship quite comfortably in the end, and then just absolutely, this season's been rubbish for the most part. Absolute rubbish. Yeah, but anyway, Perez and Sainz side by side here. It looks like Perez is not going to get the move done. Quite surprised that Gasly is still ahead of Leclerc here. He's holding his own quite nicely. Vettel's still there. Got Alonso and Russell quite close together. We'll see. Of course, don't forget, folks, Max Verstappen is making his way through the field today. He qualified very poorly and is currently in P12. Again, he had to make his way through the field in Hungary after taking penalties and then spinning off. And it looks like today he's got another job on his hand, having to make his way through the field. Maybe he just likes a challenge. Maybe he just likes a challenge and just wants to, you know, qualify low positions, take penalties and just make his way through the field, because why not? The championship is probably a foregone conclusion right now, so why not have some fun instead? I don't know. Vesti is leading F2 at the moment. Oh, okay. Interesting. And
DRS has been enabled.
DRS has been enabled. So, yeah, I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say now. I forgot what I was going to say. So it can't have been important, could it? What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Completely slipped my mind. Okay, so Norris is going to get DRS down this straight, but it never seems to work very well down this straight. I don't know why. Yes, I remember this from the first time we were here last season. The DRS down that straight doesn't work particularly well. As you'll notice that Perez, Gasly, Leclerc... Ooh, Leclerc! Not quite getting it done, is he? Verstappen's still in P12. Hello, De Geezer. It's bugging me. I was going to say something, and I forgot what I was going to say. It'll come to me at like 9 o'clock tonight. You know, I'll be coming home from football. And, oh, that's what I was going to tell him. I'll save it for the video update, which is coming at some point this week. We'll talk about the cruise. We'll talk about the plans for the channel. We'll talk about some other stuff as well. What other stuff? I don't know. I'll think of something. I must lead some semblance of an interesting life to be able to discuss something for at least 10 minutes. Yes, I played football yesterday for the first time since I come back off my holiday, and although I wasn't completely match sharp, it was only a friendly kickabout. It was for an hour, so I was using it for fitness really. But I thought I did pretty well. I thought I did alright. I felt okay, scored a few goals, didn't make any glaring errors. And today I've got a game of football which is a proper game of football. League football against the team that I used to play for on a Thursday. And if you remember, last season, second time round they beat us, and then we proceeded after that game to go on a 5-game losing streak. So we've got to get our revenge, but we've got 4 of our main players missing, and we're still a player short right now, so it's not looking good, I'm afraid to have to say. But anyway, why am I watching Verstappen? Because he's not moving anywhere. He's not overtaking Lance Stroll, who doesn't have DRS on the car in front. So there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to just cruise on past. But as I said, there seems to be some kind of weird, what do we call it, a bug on this track that makes it very difficult to overtake. I mean, Leclerc has managed to get past Gasly. Has managed to get past, so we have seen an overtake, but we're not seeing many, are we? Gasly 6, Vettel 7, Alonso 8, Russell still in 9th. We've got a lot of cars tucked up behind the car in front, indicating that they're faster, indicating that when DRS is enabled they should just cruise on by, and then they don't. Which is bad news for Norris, because he may not be getting past Hamilton for the entire race. But you never know. The beauty of F1 is you just never know. Game or otherwise, something could happen. Hamilton could hit a pothole and you know, put his suspension out. Could get a fly on his visor that puts him off and he misses his braking point by a split second and he could go wide. I wonder if that's ever happened to a driver. Oh, that's what I was going to say to you. It's not quite 9 o'clock at night, but it's about 10 minutes later. I was going to say that this chat business, I have the game on 1440p and therefore the delay between you seeing this and me talking to you is a little bit more pronounced than normal when I stream in 1080p, because I've increased the latency to allow for better quality video, because it's mainly intended to be a post watch affair. But if you happen to be here live, happy days. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's a feature. I like that saying. That could be another t-shirt slash mug worthy slogan. I feel like we're missing a trick here, because we have many comments in chat and many comments that I've said, and I remember I've said it, that would make a good mug slogan or a t-shirt slogan. If we'd have noted these down and actually done it, we could have had a plethora, a shop full of mugs and t-shirts with these handy slogans, and we could be making money out of it. You know, who wouldn't buy a t-shirt that says it's not a bug, it's a feature? You know, when Starfield comes out, for example. Just picking on Bethesda, because their games usually tend to be bug-ridden when they first come out. But you know, you buy your Starfield, and with every purchase of Starfield, you get half price on this lovely t-shirt that says it's not a bug, it's a feature. I'm sure people would buy it. I'm sure they would. Happy Feet, hello. Welcome. And Crazy Canuck, welcome to you too. But anyway, we've got some action here. We've still got Perez and Sainz battling side by side. Will Perez get past Sainz? He looks like he's the faster driver, has the faster package. He's tucked up again, right close behind. Will the DRS have the desired effect down this long straight? No. Oh, it is. He's just sneaking up the inside here. He might actually make this work this time. Here we go. Here he comes. But this is where Sainz fights back. But not this time. Perez has moved up to P3 in the Red Bull. Sainz is now 4th. Leclerc is in 5th. Gasly still keeping pace quite nicely. Vettel has dropped back. Alonso and Russell still pretty close. Ocon is 10th. And 11th is Verstappen. He has passed Lance Stroll finally. Let's ride on board with him for half a lap or so. He's actually on the soft tyre. Let's check the tyre strategies here. The front guys are all on the medium, the more conservative but the faster strategy. Most of the cars at the back of the field are on the soft tyre, which is rather interesting because it is the slower strategy. But hey, who are we to argue? And then we have Magnussen, who's on the hard tyre, which is a very strange affair, unless he's pitted, which he has, because he must have been caught up in this incident here somehow. So that's the tyres strategy as we see it. If you're on a soft tyre, that's not a good choice, I've got to say. That is not a good choice. I mean, we'll judge how good a choice it is by looking at Verstappen's comparative speed to Ocon, because Ocon, is he on soft tyres though too? No, Ocon's on medium tyres. Verstappen, oh, we've got more issues. Bottas, Stroll! Oh, it's all happening again. We've got another safety car type situation going on here. We had another big incident. It's carnage here. Safety car out again. Drivers in the tyres once again. And are we going to get a replay of this? Here we go. Let's have a watch of this one. It could be a very similar incident, if not a carbon copy, as we've got cars here just not braking and just completely wipe. Oh, and look at how Stroll has pirouetted into the barriers there. And a fire's broken out as well. I've not seen that in the game before. Has there been a patch or something? Bloody hell, high drama here. Holy cow.
Will they be able to recover?
Right.
We'll see.
It's already well used in the field of software development. Oh, is there? Oh, I thought you'd come up with it yourself, Nagisa. Also played a lot of Free Kingdoms. Really epic game when concepts are understood. That's one thing that I need to do, because when I finish this, I'm playing Free Kingdoms, and I am supposed to be upskilling in Free Kingdoms whilst I'm playing this, so that when I start to LP Free Kingdoms, I have some semblance of I know what I'm doing. Have I watched any videos? Have I had to play around myself? No. But I will this weekend. Last night, I was this close. Let's just turn this down for a second. To installing Red Dead Redemption 2. I'd finished. I'd finished playing this off camera,
careful
so
with this tyre.
I was doing my practice and qualifying off camera so that I could play the race and sit down straight away today. So after I'd finished practice and qualifying last night on this track, it was like it was like 10:30 at night. I was like, right, it's half past 10. After speaking about Red Dead Redemption 2 recently, I quite fancy playing it now. Shall I install it? And I was like, yeah, I will. Went to Nexus Mods and tried to find the Longer Days mod again. And then I thought, well, I'll probably play it without that mod first to see if it crashes, because it could have been that mod that crashed it last time when I installed it. So I'll maybe play it without. And then I kind of sat there and thought, well, it's now 11:15. I'm only going to be able to play for about an hour before I have to go to bed. There's probably no point, is there? So I didn't in the end, but I think I will do this weekend. We've got drivers pitting. The soft tyre... Okay, this is interesting actually. This is interesting because the soft-tyred runners coming in now, can they go to the end of the race? They're going to put on a set of hard tyres. We don't have to pause it for this actually. And they're going to come out and they're going to have had their pit stops under safety car conditions. Us medium-tyred runners will have more worn medium tyres than the hard runners who will be on fresh hard tyres, so maybe it might be even a little bit faster than us. And then we've got to come in to pit for our hard tyres under full racing conditions, if there's no more dramas. So anybody that's pitting for hard tyres right now that was on soft tyres could actually be in a pretty good condition. Could be in pretty good shape. I think we're going to be personally quite safe because we're very quick. But I'm thinking of the likes of Sainz, Leclerc, maybe even Perez being at risk from the likes of your Alonsos, your Russells, even your Gasly's, your Verstappen, who's now on fresh tyres. And isn't going to have to pit under full race conditions now. So this could be quite an interesting mix up of the race. Let's go to 16 speed now for the safety car, and we shall resume when it ends. Okay.
So safety car is in this lap.
In this lap again.
Yep.
We'll just 2-speed it for a second whilst he potters off down there, and then we're going to turn everything up again. For our push off the line. Another chance for Norris to try to get past his teammate on a restart. So, yeah.
And think about the shifting coast.
You're sponsored by Chrome. I prefer Firefox. Well, no, I've never used Firefox. I've always used Chrome. Well, not. I used to obviously use Internet Explorer until the night, and then I started using Chrome.
And a
I
reminder,
never used anything else.
No overtaking until the line.
Yep.
Did you watch the British GP? Yes, I did. I was completely, utterly shocked at how fast the McLarens were. Because I didn't watch Austria, you see. Apparently, Lando was pretty quick in Austria too, so the signs were already there. But, I mean, you talk about the fact that they were at the back of the grid in the first race of the season, pretty much, to now being in half a season at the front of the grid. What did I say about this game? That you could develop your car quite quickly, and it's probably a little bit unrealistic to go from the back of the grid to near the front in a season. Aston Martin have done it in one pre-season, and now McLaren have done it in half a season. Maybe it's not so unrealistic after all. I think it's happening because these rules, these technical regs, are only in their second year, so there's still a lot of performance to find if you hit the sweet spot kind of thing. It will start to become less pronounced when the regs have been embedded, although there's going to be further reg changes in 2024, 2025, I think. So we'll see. But yeah, quite surprised really. I mean, don't get me wrong, I quite like McLaren. I like Lando Norris. And when Lando Norris and Hamilton were on the podium, I did have a slight chuckle to myself because I was like, oh, they're on the podium all the time together in my game. Because I think somebody mentioned it's like second time or third time maybe they're on the podium together.
So it's cool tyres down.
What do I think about the Alpha Tauri drama? I don't know of the drama. I don't know of any drama. I don't read sort of the news outside of F1 at the moment. I'm a bit disillusioned with F1. I still watch the races, but I don't follow quite so much the news anymore because it tends to be dominated by stories of Red Bull and Verstappen and Horner, and I just can't bear to see their faces other than on a race weekend. So I don't tend to follow the stories as much anymore. But I have obviously heard that Ricciardo has come into AlphaTauri. I don't know why that happened. Was it a performance issue? Was it some disagreement?
Looks like Ocon.
What's happened now? Oh, Ocon with a lock-up. We got another crash. What is happening today? These drivers need to put their bloody L plates on. Right, let's turn this down. This is manic. Absolute craziness here today. As long as we don't get involved in the same craziness, it's fine. And don't forget, we need to actually start to put our foot down because we've got drivers behind us that don't need to stop again. Although lap 13 to 40, it's a bit early. But they can conserve their tyres, can't they? So anyway, Perez still in third, Sainz is in fourth, Leclerc is in fifth. He's put a bit of a gap to Gasly now. Alonso is in seventh, eighth Russell, ninth is Max Verstappen, making those fresh hard tyres work in his favour. So Max Verstappen, as strange as it might sound, could well be a contender for a podium position. Could well be a contender. I mean, he has to pass Russell, Alonso and Gasly on pace. But then, you know, these three, you might jump them when they come into the pits.
And DRS enabled, DRS enabled.
DRS is now enabled. I'm going to ride on board with Max here, simply because he is probably going to be the man on the move. He's a second quicker that lap than George Russell in the car ahead of him. Yes, we've got a battle between our two drivers, but it's not really developing too much unless Lando gets a good slingshot now off that complex, and again, it's just not happening, is it? Even with the DRS not going on. Nope. So we'll ride on board with this guy. Have you played RDR1? There's rumours abound of a remake master. I did play RDR1. I did indeed. I quite enjoyed it, but nowhere near as much as the second one. The first one the first one I would say was good. Was good. It was the first in a genre for me, really, playing a kind of a Western game. Wasn't the biggest fan of. Well, I've never been the biggest fan of Westerns. You know, my dad used to love watching Western films. Who was that famous actor who used to be in pretty much every Western you've ever seen? What was he called? Somebody will know his name. John Wayne? John Wayne? Is that Clint Eastwood? John Wayne? John Wayne? Anyway, I think it's John Wayne I'm thinking of. Yeah, John Wayne. Every bloody Western that my dad used to watch, John Wayne was somewhere in it. So yeah, and I used to hate them. I used to, oh, for God's sake, well, why are we... And of course, you know, Sunday dinner, there'd always be a Western on. Oh no. So yeah, kind of put me off Westerns a little bit, that. But no, Red Dead Redemption 1, enjoyed it. Red Dead Redemption 2, absolutely flipping loved it. That and The Witcher, for me, are the two most in-depth, immersive games that I've played. Really are. Oh, both of them absolute masterpieces. In their own rights. Oh, it looks like Norris has got past. Oh, hang on. I spoke too soon, or did I speak too soon with the two drivers here for the McLaren? But they're side by side, and Hamilton gets back past Norris. Oh, so close, yet so far away. Oh, He got past temporarily. We just caught the back end of the scrap. We've got another incident in Sector 2. What's happening now? If Murray Walker was alive today, bless him, and commentating this race, he'd be having an absolute kittens right now.
Now here we see Max Verstappen.
So now we've got Max Verstappen, who's got to the back of... Oh, he's... Oh!
And that spin is undoubtedly going to cost them time.
What is happening? It's the second time he's done that now. He did it in Hungary, although he's mistaken Hungary, put him into the barrier. His mistake there just lost him time. So all the time he's made up on Russell has gone completely up in smoke. Maybe we cursed him by watching him so intently. Never played the zombie DLC. Yeah, I would never play a zombie DLC. What the hell? Fancy playing a zombie DLC? No, no thanks. I think I'll pass on that. Don't mind. I like my westerns without the zombies, actually. Okay, so we are in the pit window. So yeah, the pit window for the softs was actually bang on schedule. To the point where actually, folks, we're going to have to get aggressive here because we have to create a gap to the people that have come in under the safety car. I'm actually quite concerned. A swamp area. Oh, in Red Dead Redemption 2, in terms of eerie. Oh, yeah, that swamp area. Yes, was pretty eerie. Yeah, that was pretty eerie.
Just push.
Yeah, we're going to push with both of our cars here. We need to push because we need to create that gap as much as we can. The first guy is Alonso, who hasn't pitted. He could well lead this race on paper properly by the time we've all pitted. He could be the de facto race leader if we don't put our foot down and start to get a move on. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting indeed. The advantage that we've got, of course, is we won't have to conserve our hard tyres and our tyres will be fresher. So, but we're seeing how difficult it is to pass on this track. Although we can utilise ERS as well as DRS, we can be a bit more efficient than the AI can. But nonetheless, there is just a smidgen of concern. Nothing too major, but a smidgen of concern. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me, Nagisa, or to Crazy Canuck? F123. What do I think? F1 Manager 23. Happy for you to ask a question. I haven't forgotten. I just get distracted very easily. I haven't seen anything about it. Is it out yet? As Norris has just passed Lewis Hamilton into the hairpin here. This could be a vital move. He's got the move done before the Eau Rouge section, which means Hamilton is going to struggle to get past here because, hey, nobody passes down this straight. So Norris has passed and made it stick on his teammate ahead of the pits. And that means that Norris will get to pit first, which is usually beneficial. So this could be an absolute pivotal move for his potential race victory. Hamilton will not be a happy chappy right now. The crying woman in the white. I can't just spring to mind. I'm afraid. I might have done, but it's been a little while since I played the game, and I can't remember too many of the finer details. Although I was tempted to watch. I don't watch my own play. I've never watched any of my own playthroughs all the way through. I watch the occasional video every so often, based on the comments that I get. So if I get a comment on a game that I haven't seen for years, I'll be like, oh, let me just watch this one video with this comment on it for a bit of a laugh, see what I did, see what I sounded like. So somebody commented on a Metal Gear Solid 5 video, and I was like, oh my god, now there's a blast from the past. A, the game itself, and B, the guy that made the comment used to comment on every single one of my videos years ago. It was always in commenting on my videos. It used to always be there, and he's been subscribed for 10 years. And I was like, oh my God, it's you! And it was him. He said, I've been away for a little while, but I've got a lot to catch up on now, clearly. I was like, bloody hell. I remember seeing you every video you commented on, without fail. And then he just vanished. And to the point where I thought, I wonder if something had happened to him. That's one thing about kind of people, comments on YouTube and stuff like that. As much as we know each other and speak or whatever, if one of you guys was to have an incident or something and vanish off the face of the earth, it'd be like, what happened to him or her? What happened? I don't know. Obviously, if I stopped LPing suddenly and vanished for like even more than 2 weeks, I've said this before, not to be morbid here, but you know, if I was to stop LPing and you didn't hear from me for 2 weeks solid, you'd know something is going to miss, because I have not done that ever in 13 years. So you'd know that something's not quite right, you know. Something's not right. He's not we've done a video for 2 weeks, not told us about anything, no comments in the Discord server. You'd come to the conclusion something's amiss. But then, yeah, with some people, you just don't know. Like in the old server that we had, forum, for example, a couple of people that used to be on there just disappeared without a trace. Like, oh, whatever happened to them?
Yeah, copy.
I don't know. Moved on. I completely missed the fact that Hamilton had overtaken Norris again, because I was in a full reminisce mode there. Optimal pit stop is now. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring Hamilton in for his pit on this lap, and then Norris gets the next one.
Okay, so box.
Sector 2, we have an incident. Hang on. Is this another safety car? This could save us. If we could pit under a safety car.
Are you okay?
Oh, what's happened?
It's a collision.
What's happened? Hang on. What's
We're
happened?
looking at Lando Norris.
Lando Norris has come a cropper here. Oh, it's been knocked out by the back marker. The car he was lapping has smashed into him. He's taken his tyres down to 7%. He's damaged his wing. Major damage to the front wing. He damaged his front wing in the first practice session. So we've only got 2 wings left now. We've got to build some new wings for the next race. But he's got rear wing damage, chassis damage, suspension damage. We're going to have to cancel Hamilton's pit stop here. Lando needs to pit urgently. There's a major incident. Oh my God, a car that he was lapping has crashed into him. Absolute hellacious. Damaged wing. How do we fit this front wing? We need to replace the front wing. We've only got 1 more left. He's already damaged 1. We'll let him off this time. This wasn't his fault. 25-second total pit time here. This is awful for Lando Norris's chances here. This is going to really hinder his chances of getting onto the podium, even, let alone winning this race. This is a major incident. Hamilton, it's a good job that he wasn't right up Hamilton's jacks, because it could have wiped
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
both of us out. So Norris is in 3rd now behind Leclerc. He's got an injured car. No doubt he'll have Alonso racing up the back of him. That happened to Max in Sao Paulo with Ocon. What a disgrace. To be fair, we could pit both. That's a good point, actually. That's a good point. Good point well made. 9-second gap. God. I mean, he's just about maintaining a little bit of pace here, actually. With his damaged car. He's still 1.8? 3. Okay, it's coming down. But not as fast as I thought it might do. His tyres that are knackered. He's probably, obviously, heavily flat-spotted them as he's gone skating off into the grass, hit the bloody barriers. Don't forget, Alonso has already pitted as well, so we're going to be a full pit stop behind Alonso. And Alonso is definitely going to the end, because they were within their pit window when they pitted under the safety car. This race has got much more tricky for Lando Norris. It's going to be interesting to see if he can get him back onto the podium here. Hamilton has got it now much easier because his main, his main rival, even though it's his teammate, his main rival is now no longer in the picture. Leclerc is way behind. So, yeah. As the Mercedes team, hard tyres for Hamilton. Off he goes into the sunset. Now this is where we need to watch out. Alonso has passed. Gasly has passed. Russell and Verstappen have passed. Now, as I've said, they're not pitting again. So we have come out in P4 and we have to pass them to win this race with Hamilton. And Norris now is down in P10 because of the incident. This is not going to be easy. This is not going to be easy. Going forward, we're going to have to orchestrate some actual pace now. No longer are we enjoying tootling off in front with not a care in the world other than our own teammates to worry about. No, we've got to actually earn our crust right now, and we have got to put our foot down. But to be fair, the gap between Hamilton and Gasly, who is the leader at the moment, is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So we've got fresher tyres. We have, so they're going to be quicker. They're going to last longer. They're going to be in better shape at the end of the race. So technically speaking, and we've got the fastest car on the grid. This, as much as it might have at first appeared a little bit of an issue, shouldn't really be much of an issue, if we're being honest. We've got plenty of fuel. We're actually passing Russell without the use of any deployment. We'll just put a boost of deployment down potentially here going into the final chicane if we can. Do we get any deployment down this? No. As we ride off board with Hamilton. Oh, look at this. We've got back markers in the way. There's a traffic congestion here. Is this Spa or is this the middle of bloody London? Get out of the way, you idiots! Right, up the inside of La Source on Russell, and now we do make it stick. We're up into P3. We're going to go for full overtake, full pushing. We've got the DRS on Alonso, through Eau Rouge, down the back straight. This time, let's make it stick. Let's make it stick. Can we, or are we going to be hampered? Is it going to be the curse of the Kemmel Straight, where we can't pass a damn vehicle? No, we're going, we're out braking, we're swooping past, we are past Alonso. Full deployment. We'll turn that off, turn that down, and we shall continue our way forwards and continue to push towards Gasly, where we'll hopefully pass without much effort, and we shall be back in the lead of this race. Let's have a look at Norris here, who's got 7 seconds to make up on Leclerc.
Nice work.
But don't forget, he's still got minor damage on
McLaren
a
gain
lot
a position.
of these. Did we just pass somebody? Oh yeah, right behind us. Yeah, so even though we're in clear air, got fresh boots on, etc., we do have a very injured car. So damage limitation for Norris, his championship hopes evaporating really before his very eyes here, because him not getting any decent points today, Hamilton potentially getting a win if all goes according to plan here, is going to really put him out of contention. He's 49 points behind, I think, already. This could be the final nail in the coffin, really, if you will, as we look to try to get past what's his face here, Gasly.
Yep.
So we're trying to get through here on the old grid. Not getting past there, but we'll see how we fare down here. Hello, Chris. You've missed an absolute dramatic race so far. We are getting past Gasly here. That's not quite what I'm wanting to see, actually. Come on, Hamilton, what are you flipping doing? We got past the other two with consummate ease. Max Verstappen is in 3rd position. What the hell? Where did he sneak up from? Like a bad smell. He crept in. Like a silent fart. You never saw it, you never smelled it, you never heard it, you never saw it coming. And before you know it, you're in it and you can't get out of it. Right, we're past. We are past. Back to balance, neutral, and we can go to standard. I think we've got the pace to make that work.
And think about increasing lift and coast just a little.
We'll naturally get out of the DRS of Gasly, I think. But yeah, Max Verstappen could well be getting second place, which you would never have guessed after he qualified so poorly, spun off mid-corner. He's pulled it back quite nicely. We're not making many gains on Leclerc here. The car is too injured. The car is too damaged. Norris is far back because he overtook a back marker, who then forgot to brake going into the first hairpin, and he careered into the back of us and wiped us out. So we've got a damaged front wing which we've repaired. However, we've still got minor damage to our chassis, to our rear wing, and to our suspension. So basically, our car is walking wounded right now. What's the plan for the week? What week, chap? The week is finished almost. It's Friday tomorrow. So the plan for me tomorrow is I'm off to work in the office for a change. I don't usually work on. I quite like working Fridays because I tend to finish early on a Friday. So I can kind of go into the office, do a half day in the office, and it gets me out of bed, gets me up, it gets me out, gets me in work mode. But I stopped doing that towards the back end of the time before my holidays. I won't do Fridays for a little while. I'll just work from home on a Friday. But I'm working in the office tomorrow because I've got lots to do. And I've got a meeting with somebody who's in the office, so I might as well go to the office. So that was that. So yeah, I'm going to be in the office tomorrow. After I finished in the office tomorrow, I'm going to pick my friend up from work and we're going straight to do some shopping in Morrison's to get some rum, because she's got some vouchers to spend. So we're going to go to Morrison's and get some rum on her vouchers, which means free rum for me. So that's nice. So that's going to be the plan tomorrow. And then I'm going to go to her house, have some food, drink some rum, have some tunes on. That will be my Friday, which means there'll be no videos tomorrow, unless I can record a session of Plague Tale after football tonight, which I might be able to, but I'm not promising anything. It depends how tired I am, and depends if we've lost, because when we've lost, I'm grumpy. So that's tomorrow. For Saturday, no plans in the daytime, so I will definitely get a session up of something in the morning, record it and get it up later in the day. I will probably do some horse racing, get back into the horse racing swing, do my sports trading, and then I'll be going out in the evening to my friends again, drink some more rum and do some more the usual stuff. And then Sunday, maybe some more horse racing. I don't think there's a race this weekend. I could be wrong. If there is a race, I'll watch the race, but I don't think there is. And then football, and then I shall be streaming Plague Tale Innocence. No, I won't. I'll be streaming Plague Tale Requiem on Sunday evening. And that's the plan for the rest of the week, which is the same type of affair that tends to happen every week. Next weekend I'm off to Manchester though. No, I'm not. That's a lie. I'm staying in Leeds. But my colleague from Manchester, I say colleague, I should say friend really, because we meet each other every month now, but my friend from work, who doesn't work in our team anymore, but we still work for the same company, so she is coming over to Leeds this time. I went to Manchester before I went on holiday, went to that lovely Greek place, had lots to eat. So she's coming to Leeds. It's her turn to come this side of the Pennines, so she's coming over. That's next Saturday. And basically, I've arranged for us bottomless brunch, because I've never done it, she's never done it. What's happened now?
We've had a crash.
Oh, for heaven's sake, what's happened now?
Here's the replay.
There's another safety car.
Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this.
That might help Bottas. That might help Norris close the pack up a bit.
Clearly, something went very, very wrong there.
Yes, it did. Very wrong indeed. That's got to be a safety car, or at least a virtual safety car.
Team are devastated.
It's got to be. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't got to be at all. Or does it got to be? Is it or isn't it? Is it or isn't it? Make your mind up. No, I don't think it's a yellow flag.
It's a crash.
Oh, it's a crash.
We can take a look
Vettel's
now.
crashed.
Now look at this.
Another one
Was
bites the dust.
AlphaTauri driver involved?
We're going to get you too. Another one bites the dust. Oh, there goes Vettel.
Here's the crash.
Vettel's off. This is a record. This is like the wacky races. I don't know about F1. Where the hell is Dick Dastardly and Muttley? We're expecting them to come across the screen any moment now.
That sounds like someone's gone wide.
Leclerc has run wide. He's down in 8th position. What did he
Let's take a
do?
look at the replay.
He's,
Okay, here's the
he probably
Ferrari.
just dipped a time. He's probably
They've
gained
gone
time
wide.
there.
They won't be happy about
He's
that.
probably gained time. He's cut the corner. Give him a penalty. Blooming heck. This is quite the dramatic race. Norris, though, is gaining on Bottas. We are pushing quite hard with Norris. Might have to take the tyre pushing off at some point. We can continue with the engine pushing, though. This is only because he's crashed and he's got no front wing, by the way. This is not on pure pace. He's got an injured car. His car is more injured than our car. It's like a competition. Whose car is more injured? I've got suspension damage and
This is
I've
really
got
good.
a wing. No, I've got chassis damage and I've got
McLaren gain a position.
other damage too. Rear wing. Yeah. What have you got, Bottas? Oh, I just got a front wing damage. I win. Yeah, but mine is definitely hampering me more. Front wing is vital piece. You just got a scratch on your rear wing, which has been classed as minor damage. You know. It's not really minor damage. That is a little scratch. Bit of paintwork off. Your chassis. Well, we can't see that actually. Suspension. It's like, you know, it's like walking with a stick. I was going to say something and I've forgotten again. This could be a bad sign, you know. If I'm this forgetful at this age, what's going to happen when I'm like old and grey? I don't remember my own name. What day is it today? Actually, it's not laughing matter. It's really serious. These things happen. Hamilton is still 1.4 ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen is actually race pace looking pretty decent. The Red Bull, the sign that the Red Bull is a good car on this track is when Perez qualifies ahead of the Ferraris, because that doesn't usually happen. When Perez qualifies ahead of the Ferraris, you know that the Red Bull is suited to the circuit. And Verstappen is always quicker than Perez by at least 2 to 3 tenths. So, given that Perez was only 2 tenths behind us, if Verstappen had managed to set a clear lap, he could have actually been in contention for pole position. So, it shouldn't be a surprise to us that Verstappen is keeping pace with us right now. Now, it could just be that the circuit favours Verstappen. It could be that he's pushing really hard and we're not right now. It could be that the Red Bull in the pre-season, or the summer break rather, have brought a couple of significant upgrades. We could surmise all day about it, but we won't. All we need to surmise, or all we need to know really, because we can see it with our own eyes, is that Verstappen is actually catching Hamilton to the point where he's almost in the DRS. Now, I'm not pushing Hamilton at the moment, because Verstappen's tyres are more worn anyway, so he'll drop off before we do, and he will probably have to conserve before we do. So I'm not concerned at the minute, but I don't want him to get into DRS, so I'm just going to manage this gap a little bit. When it starts to come less than a second, then we might start to, less lift and coast, short stint of aggression, maybe and turn up the boost of the ERS. So we have toys available, but we don't need to use them just yet. Norris, is he gaining on Leclerc? 2.3 seconds. He's pushing like a wild man, but he has to do because his car's buggered. But if he gets within DRS, we're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. Every point matters right now for this man's championship. Could you imagine being in his position? You were battling your teammate for the lead. You're in the fastest car on the grid. You're battling with your teammate for the championship. You overtake a back marker, and that back marker wipes you out. Can you imagine? Driving through the rest of this race, I would be an absolute. I wouldn't be able to drive. I'd be fuming. Every single lap from lap 22 or whenever it happened to lap 44, I would be fuming. And I'd be like, who was that? Who knocked me off? Oh, it was. Who was it? Anyway, I don't know who it was. You just wait till I get out of this damn car. You just wait. I'll give you what for, boyo. Like Michael Schumacher running down the pit lane to give David Coulthard a punch in the face. That also happened at Spa, funnily enough. Albon. Yeah, good old Albon. I think Albon's a little bit underrated of a driver, you know. I really do. I think he's not a bad driver, Albon. Sainz and Perez and Russell. Look at this. A three-way, is it a four-way? Yeah, it's a four-way dance. It's a four-way dance. Battling for fourth. Alonso leads it. Russell is fifth. Perez is in sixth. He's gone backwards quite quickly, hasn't he? But don't forget, he was one of the drivers that lost that because of the safety car. Sainz and Leclerc have also lost that because of the safety car. Russell, Alonso, Gasly and Verstappen all gained because of the safety car. So look at the draw, really. And with it being so difficult to pass, these guys are in a world of trouble right now. Must be said. The Jordan 1-2, Damon Hill and Ralph Schumacher. Oh God, yeah. Yeah. That was the Spa when we had that great massive pileup, wasn't it? As I said last time I streamed when we were at this track. If you haven't seen 98 Spa Formula 1 start, just YouTube it. If you want to see carnage, just watch the start of the Spa Grand Prix 1998. It's hilarious, honestly. You've got a good memory, Chan. I remember that now that you mentioned it, yes. Hello, Moo Moo. Went to Williams. Ah, yes, I remember that. Went to Williams along with Juan Pablo Montoya. BMW Williams. They were at one point. They were actually pretty quick. When they were BMW Williams, they were pretty decent. It was the fastest they'd been since they lost the Renault engines. Anyway, somebody asked me about F123, F Manager 23. It was Happy something. Are you still here? Yeah. You see, it was quite a tactical decision. Moo Moo. So, yeah. Didn't you used to be Dipsy? Have I got this wrong? I just recognise your picture. Didn't you used to be Dipsy? Oh, Norris is in DRS rage. Right, thank you. Clearly I'm paying much attention today. Yes. Oh, you see. I've got a good memory for some things. Bad memory for others. Can't remember what I was supposed to say. But I remember pictures. New fastest lap for Norris. Would you credit that? Leclerc's got DRS and Sainz though. So actually trying to push right now might not yield the best result. But we'll try. And we're kind of running a bit low on fuel now as well. See, he gets the DRS as well, so it's not really beneficial for us just yet to push. So we're going to start to slow this down.
Save fuel from now, please.
We've got DRS to help drag us around a little bit, and then when Leclerc loses DRS from Sainz, then we start to crank it up a bit. 1.5 seconds the gap to Verstappen. It's staying constant, but I'm quite impressed with how Verstappen is keeping pace here. You know, not allowing Hamilton to drive off into the distance. You know, it's close enough to us that should we make a little bit of a faux pas, and even just lose 3 seconds by, you know, a trip into the gravel, we lose out massively. And to pass him again would be quite difficult. So, you know, he's keeping us honest, which is what we like to see. I don't want to be driving off into the distance every race. Okay, it means king in Swedish, but spelt different. Okay. King Moo Moo, I shall call you. A tornado warning, holy hell. Go. Hope it doesn't come to pass and you know, you remain safe. How the hell did he get fastest? That's a good question. How the hell did he get fastest lap in a broken car? That's a good question. We won't be getting any more fastest laps there. I mean, Hamilton may go for the fastest lap. I don't like to push either of my car for the fastest lap because I feel like I'm doing the other one dirty. So if you naturally get fastest lap, then fine. But I almost feel like we should push with Hamilton because we're not battling Norris directly anymore. Oh, there's a safety car again! What's happened now? This is the 3rd time! Goodness grief. We've got a massive gap to P10, which means to me that it makes sense to pit Norris again for fresh tyres. Actually, funnily enough. We don't have any fresh hards. Yes, we've actually saved ourselves with Norris 2 sets of hard tyres. How on earth did we have the foresight to do that? We didn't. It was a mistake. I always use the least amount of soft tyres in qualifying and practice. And I forgot to, in one of the practice sessions, use a set of hards to discard them, which meant that I used an extra set of softs instead. So we've got a fresh set of hards, which is rather fortunate right now because these are going to come in perfect for Norris, who's not going to lose a position now, and then the field will bunch up and he'll have brand new hard tyres, which might help offset his damage a little bit. And of course, we can start to conserve, which means he gets to save more fuel, gets to save his ERS. So, you know, this is going to be a push with Norris now to make it to get to the end on fresh tyres. It'd be quite cool to see this now, actually. Yes, it will be very exciting. It makes no sense for the rest of us to pit, though. I'm kind of intrigued as to whether anybody else will pit, like Verstappen, for example, because there's a slight window of opportunity here, actually. If we were to pit, we'd come out probably ahead of Alonso in P3 with fresh tyres. We don't need to. Verstappen has got more to gain from pitting for fresh tyres because his are 61%. So if I was in Verstappen's shoes, I'd be thinking I can get past Alonso and Gasly probably quite easily on fresh tyres. Now that puts me in second on fresher tyres than Hamilton in a car that's the same kind of pace. It's probably worth the gamble. Let's see if it does it. I'd pit Verstappen if I was on the Red Bull pit wall right now. I'd pit him because he's not in the contention for the championship. So if you want the race victory, pitting him is the best chance to get it. Is he going to pit though? This is where I think the AI. This is where the AI falls down. I think. I mean, it's probably very difficult to program the AI. I don't know actually. Is it? So it's like capitalise on these type of situations or in variable weather when a strategy like almost jumps out at you as being clearly a very good option. The AI just never do it. It's the AI. They're never going to be perfect, are they? Like, would the AI pit Norris right now?
And just remind you,
knowing that there's a massive gap to Tsunoda? No, the AI will say, we've got enough tyres to enter to go to the end of the race, so we're going to stay out. Which is clearly the wrong decision. Clearly. This is very clear-cut. This is definitely a clear-cut pit. He's not going to lose a position. We're going to bunch up under the safety car. It's a free pit stop. Verstappen's isn't quite free, because he will lose positions, but... yeah, he should have pit. He'd have been in fourth with fresh tyres. Unless, of course, though, let's think about this logically. We've only got fresh hards by mistake. He might not have fresh hards to put on. So, with 12 laps to go, if he's not got a fresh set of mediums or hards, then he's not got much choice, because I don't think the softs would last. And he's used a set of softs. He went soft hard, didn't he? So he must have a set of mediums, because there's always a set of mediums saved for the race. So he must have a set of fresh mediums, which he could have strapped on now, which is a faster tyre than the hard. Faster tyre will easily make it to the end, and will be brand new. That makes it even more of a slam dunk pit stop if he had a fresh set of mediums available. But we'll never know, will we? But he will do, because everybody gets a fresh set of mediums for the race, at least one set. So yeah, catastrophic error there by the Red Bull team, if you ask me. Then again, you might not be asking me, but I'm telling you, big mistake. Chance to win the race, really thrown away, if you ask me. Mind you, the flip side to that argument is that if Verstappen had have pitted, we might have been able to pit with Hamilton to cover him off the exact next lap, you see. So that might have also been a possibility. Although technically speaking, we don't have a fresh set of mediums to put on, so we'd have to put on a fresh set of softs, which might not make it to the end. The possibilities could have been, for an absolute epic finish had Verstappen pitted. Could have caused a chain reaction of events. But it didn't. So Norris will show us how it's done. Will show us the benefits of pitting under the safety car for a free stop. He will show us what
Safety car
Red Bull have missed out on. Right, we're going full push here.
Stay close.
Yeah, confirm.
Right, we're not riding on board. Well, actually, no, we're going to ride on board with Norris here. Hamilton, I'm sure, is probably safe from Verstappen. But let's see how Norris makes his way through this field here. He's got fresh tyres, he's got a damaged car, but he's got a championship that he's battling for, which will hopefully spur him on to great deeds.
And one final reminder, no overtaking before the line.
Confirm.
What about overtaking on the line? What do the rules say about that? Look at that, we're like, oh, we could have passed there, but we can't, because the safety car line is the start-finish line. We can't pass until the start-finish line, which is down here. Here we go, Lewis is there. I don't know where Max is. Let's go to Norris, who's quite far behind Leclerc here. There's no DRS for the first couple of laps after the restart, so he's going to have to pass off his own steam, but that might not be as difficult as it sounds if he's got fresher tyres, and he's been given full push order here. And he's been given overtake mode on the engine. Go, 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 go.
There if you need it.
Go, 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 go. Go on.
Yeah, confirm.
Go on. Nothing. Absolutely not a thing. Right, we'll deploy neutral for now. We can actually push really hard here. We can push really. We've got 9 laps. We can push 9 qualifying laps required. We've gained a second on Verstappen, which is quite promising. We are pushing, that's because we can afford to push. We've saved the energy in the safety car there, safety car procession. But Norris is needing to get a move on here. We could get, well, all the cars are within range. It depends how quickly we go through the field. We could technically finish second. We're not going to, it's very unlikely, but technically speaking, how close we're bunched, we could get second. I reckon we're going to probably get about 7th. Maybe even 9th. As we struggle to pass the Ferrari of Leclerc with that injured vehicle.
That is fastest lap.
Fastest lap for Hamilton now. I mean, Norris has been given full push. Turn Hamilton's down from the ERS now. Right, here we go. Okay, this is looking better. Better tyres from the hairpin, better traction out of that corner, and we pass with the help of ERS, and now we put our foot down, and hopefully Sainz will not be far away from being next on our hit list.
And McLaren with a great overtake.
Well done, Lando. Well worked. Well worked. Now we just need to keep within the second of Carlos Sainz. The difference is that Carlos Sainz has DRS on cars ahead, which gives him an extra line of defence. And this little train is not going to spread out before the end of the race, so we're going to have to overtake Sainz with him getting a DRS assisted defence. It's not impossible, but it's going to be very tricky, especially with a broken, semi-broken car. But we'll ride on board at least until the end of the main straight on the next lap, and then we'll check in with Hamilton. We'll check in with, I mean, look how many cars are eliminated here. 5 cars out of the race. Absolute destruction, Derby. Okay, so DRS is now enabled. Let's see what that means. So this is where we passed Leclerc, not going to pass Sainz there. That's quite a handy place to actually overtake because it's not a DRS zone, you see, so it wouldn't get any defence from it. But no, nothing doing there, nothing doing, just waiting and watching here, waiting and watching as Russell and Sainz are battling away, and Sainz has just nipped in front of Russell there. I feel like he's just mugged him, just robbed him of his last Rolo. Caught napping there, Russell. You got to feel there. We were going to check out the rest of the grid, but there's a bit of action there, so we'll continue onwards here.
Tires are getting hot. Okay,
oh,
copy.
deploy. You never know. Russell might not get DRS when he crosses the line. Let's have a look. So we'll go to the hairpin and then we'll power off the hairpin. Russell is not got DRS at the moment. He's 1.2 seconds behind Sainz. He's dropping away. We're 3 seconds ahead of Verstappen. So Hamilton has got this race under control now. And this is, look at this. This is the traction that we get. This is the better traction because of the fresher tyres. And of course of the deployment too, and he'll get the same down this section here. Consolidate his
Nice job,
P7.
mate. Nice job.
Save a bit of that ERS now. Back on board. We've got the momentum off that already. We're going to get a dose of DRS here. Sector 2, we've got an incident. What's happened now? What's happened now? The theme of this race. What happened next? This could be a question of sport type of situation. What happened next? A car crashed. You are completely correct. Because every car crashed in this race. Everybody crashed out. There was nobody finished. And everybody was sacked. Incompetent morons. Yes, the heart that they've put is annoying me because it covers the last part of the comment. Yes, exactly. Would you not think that when they're going to implement a new feature, right, they'd have it tested out first? Right, we're going to test this new feature, handful of people, 10 people, 20, 50 people. What do you think of it? It's crap. Covers the last bit of the chat up. It's just rubbish. Right, thanks for your feedback. What we're going to do is we're going to implement it anyway. Maybe they did ask people, I don't know. But yeah, it covers the last bit of chat. It's like this biggest love heart right in the middle of the damn thing. we've got an emoji button in the lower left. If you want to put an emoji on, you know, like that, Mr. Alien. I put a Mr. Alien down there. You want to put an emoji? Just use the emoji button. Why do we need this stupid flipping thing that you can just press? It's ridiculous. And apparently not everybody's got it though. So maybe they are trialing it with certain people, and then they're going to ask you to feedback on it. Maybe they are trialing it because I don't think everybody saw this last time. I know YouTube have done that in the past. They've only rolled out certain features to like certain individuals, kind of randomly, and you get a message to say you may have noticed that things have changed. Give us your feedback on the changes. Anyway, 7th position is Norris. He is looking. Yeah, so you definitely not got it then. So maybe they are testing it. Maybe I mocked them and they are actually testing it. This is a test. So when they ask me for feedback, what do you think of this lovely new heart button? I'll be like, it's a load of rubbish. I'll keep it clean because I'm a professional. Yeah, Hamilton is definitely looking safe. I think in fact we can even turn down the pushing here.
Increase in lift and coast.
Whereas Lando doesn't have such luxuries. Lando passed Russell. Yeah, we know that, didn't we? Did we see Lando pass Russell? Or was I in a rant? I think we watched him pass Russell. Tell you my memory. And what I can't believe, it's already 6:10. That's what happens when you finish work late. When you finish work, it's really strange because when you finish work at like my normal time, like 3 o'clock, maybe half at the latest, you feel like you've got a long evening ahead of you, long afternoon. You know, you look at your time. Oh, it's only 5:30. Oh, plenty of time left. You finish at 4:30, which isn't that much later. But that extra hour and a half just makes a massive difference. Because like now, it's like, oh, it's already 6:10. It's already time to have a bit of tea and put your feet up, and then it'll be bedtime before you know it.
I think there's been a lock-up.
So it does make a massive difference when you're used to finishing like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's nothing like finishing at 3. I love finishing early. I mean, I start at 7, so it's not as if I'm doing like 9 till 3. But I'd much rather get up at the crack of dawn to be able to finish at 3. Anyway, what happened to Norris? Norris got crashed out by a back marker, and his car suffered injuries. It's got damage across the entire vehicle. He had to replace his wing because his wing was majorly damaged, front wing that is. So yeah, he ended up losing out. He lost also more positions than perhaps he might have done because of the fact that some of the cars ahead of him also got a very cheap pit stop because of a safety car.
4 laps remaining.
So like Alonso, Gasly, for example, all got cheap pit stops when they were on soft tyres. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't be ahead of Norris right now. So he'd be in a 5th position, probably, without that safety car that happened. Right, here we go. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, it is bad luck. It's unfortunate, and it's because his car is damaged. It limits his ability to fight back through the field. If his car had been just the front wing damaged and nothing else, and we'd have changed that, and he'd have had full, a car that's not so damaged, he might have got his way through the field a little bit more effectively. Although he did get fastest lap. So how badly damaged the other parts are is a bit debatable. But anyway, Hamilton pulled out a 5-second gap to Verstappen, and that's probably because Verstappen's beginning to start to suffer the ill effects of the slight tyre difference of wear there. This is why I said it was absolutely foolish that he didn't come in and use a cheap pit stop to put a fresh set of tyres on and maybe just lose a couple of positions. And then fight back with those fresh set of tyres that are going to be much quicker than the worn hards that the rest of the people run around him, he could have won this race. Could he have beaten Hamilton? Fresh set of
3 laps
mediums
remaining.
on a Red Bull versus a used set, a worn set of hards on the McLaren. I'd have loved to have seen that. I would have loved to have seen that play out. Would have been quite interesting. Could have been a very close battle. Could have been just like 2021 all over again. No, don't go there, don't go there. What am I doing? A season from hell. Don't do it to yourself. Anyway, I've intended to talk about F1 Manager 2023 for this entire stream when somebody asked the question, what did I think of it? So I'll get there now with 3 laps to go. So what do I think of it? First of all, my question to anybody that knows the answer is, oh, we're passing Alonso. I can't, the game will not let me finish this conversation. The game will let me start the conversation. Right, very good, Norris. Deploy, keep pushing. The time is now. Go, go, go.
With a great overtake.
Off he goes. He's got sights to overtake yet. Who can't overtake Gasly? Will we make it? Find out live. So yes, first of all, I don't believe that it's out yet. I think it's coming out in August. Again, let me know if I'm being completely wrong here. But so I haven't read up on any of the features that have been improved upon, that are going to be in the game, how the game is going to be slightly different from this game. You know, is it going to be? Are they going to have improved upon it? Or is it just going to be like a cookie cutter kind of FIFA type situation where, you know, it's just a hash of the previous version with like 2 new features and they charge you another 60 quid for the damn thing? It's coming out in 2 weeks. That's soon. I got bad news, folks.
Perez had a spin.
What we're gonna do is Perez has had a spin. Yellow flags for Perez has had a drama.
Let's see what happened there.
Good
Look
grief.
at this.
On his own.
Perez.
Just completely
Dear,
lost concentration. And that's it. That is it.
Was a
Right, what we'll do is we'll discuss F1 23 when the race is finished. That's our concluding thoughts for the session, alright? Because we can't finish it whilst the race is going on. It's been too dramatic. Too much drama happening here for fruitless conversations. 31st of July. Right, so yeah, is it going to be cookie cutter F1 football manager type, FIFA type, hey, welcome to F1 Manager 27. It's just like Football Manager 26, but hey, you can now see on the touchline your avatar, you've got new hairstyles. Oh, you're gonna love these new hairstyles for your manager. Oh, new clothing attire. Let's not forget that. Of course, you get the up-to-date database, which you can get for free on the older versions, but hey. And we've got this lovely new scouting system, which is completely the same, apart from a couple of little things. I like Football Manager. The last Football Manager that I got was not the current one, but it was last year's. I got it for free. I only get F1 Manager when it comes for free on Epic, and it comes for free every year. So I'm always a year behind.
One more lap.
But the last version that I played, I think, which is 22, I played it for 500 hours. 500 hours, which is the most I played in F1 Manager, Football Manager, sorry, ever. For whatever reason, I completely just got into it massively. Anyway. So I do mock it and jest a little bit because it's a really good game, but they don't change much. So the point I'm making is, is F1 Manager going to be like that, or are they actually going to change some features? Because they've got the bare bones here of a fantastic game. The graphics are fabulous. The graphics look really cool. You've got the drivers' voices and everything. The engineers, really, really good. But there are certain gripes in this game that do make it very irksome. And I've gone through them before, and I'm sure we can all go through them again. What would you like to see in F1 Manager 23 that would make the game better. Now, you know, again, the things that jump out to me, for example, are the ability to overtake vehicles that are slower than you significantly, you know, in the wrong tyre, when it's the wrong weather conditions, or whether you're on a hot lap in qualifying and there's a car on an out lap. You know, the difficulty that the AI have in passing another car in those type of situations where it would be really easy in real life because the cars get out your way, or you can just drive around them because, you know, you're on dries and this track is wet, therefore I'll just drive around in my wet tyres around you like you're not there, because essentially you're not there because you're on the wrong tyre. Not in this game. Oh no. Oh, I'm stuck.
Awesome race, mate.
Stuck behind him.
Fantastic race pace.
Ooh, for an entire lap. So that needs to be fixed for certain. But other little things, and I could make a list
pushing if you want to.
if I had time, but there's things that just jumped to my mind.
P5.
Yeah, the timing screens. Like in real life, you get timing screens. You know, so if you're doing a qualifying lap, how many tenths you're up on your old time, or how many tenths you're behind the pole time. You can kind of get that data here, but you've got to go into this screen. It'd be quite nice to have some kind of a banner down here, so it's easier to track your qualifying times, not just to you, but to the cars around you as well. That would be quite nice, because when you go for like a second hot lap in qualifying, you know, your split time to your old time, it's a faff to find it. So it'd be quite nice to see something like that, for example, just something, you know, that'd be quite cool. Customization, yeah, I think they're kind of reticent to, they're kind of limited out there because it's a licensed game. You can't have too much customization, but yeah, possibly. That's the only two things I can think of right now, which you think to yourself, is the game that bad? There's other things I'm sure that I could think of. Give me some time. But anyway, here's your race result in what was a bit of a topsy-turvy, wacky races style Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton came through, finishing first. He did lose it temporarily because of the situation with the safety car. The other cars got a cheaper stop, but he managed to pass them quite quickly. Held off Verstappen, despite Verstappen matching pace for a little while and closing at one point. Managed to bring it home. Car number 44, 44 laps, fastest lap of the race, 26 points, a job well done for Sir Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen, a very good race, gained 10 positions, spun out, started from the back, or started from 12th because of poor qualifying, got a fortunate pit stop opportunity because of the safety car, made it pay, clearly had a quick car, and made it count. Finished P2. That's a damn good result. Carlos Sainz made up one position, third place, got involved in a couple of little skirmishes, mainly with Perez at one point, but Gasly, P4 in the Alfa Romeo, a fantastic result, again helped by the safety car situation, but still had to drive round, and he was in a high position, if you remember, before the safety car, so he was looking quick all weekend. Lando Norris, P5, we all know what happened to him. This was the best we could hope for, really. Salvage with him. Not a bad day after the incident. Clearly disappointing overall. He was leading the race for a short time, having passed Lewis before Lewis overtook him. So he could have well won this race. We shall now never know. Alonso finishing 6th. Leclerc down 2-7. Another bad day for Charles Leclerc. Can't put my finger on it, but he's just really struggling this season. Russell in 8th, Ocon in 9th, and Sergio Perez, the biggest loser of the entire race weekend. 7 positions lower than his P3 on the grid, finishing in P10. Dear, that's very bad. Right, there's your Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen leapfrogging both of the Ferraris there. So it's a very tight battle. Take out the McLarens and you've got a pretty epic title fight, haven't you? But no, we're here, so you haven't. But you've got an epic fight for 3rd position. Constructors, Ferrari, Red Bull continue to duke it out for P2. McLaren, well, different league. Everything going well with the sponsorships, etc, etc. So that's that. Weather centre upgraded. Right then, let's have a look. That's done. Oh, new testing period, which is great because we were saving that so that we can develop some research. So off camera, I'm not going to do it now because I'm going to end the stream very shortly. Yeah, we're going to actually do, not that it's going to matter because we're not playing the game next season, are we? But we can now start to research to offset the minor tech changes next season. I am going to get a new front wing. I am going to get a new rear wing, or research a front wing, research a rear wing, and research the underfloor. In fact, we could probably just do it really, but timing and all that. So yeah, front wing, rear wing, and underfloor will all be researched before the next Grand Prix for next season. And that's probably going to be it. So 4 days, bloody hell, back to back here. The Dutch Grand Prix will be next on the list, and of course we have to get a new front wing, 2 new front wings, 2 new chassis, 1 new rear wing, 1 new side pod, and another suspension. So we've got a little bit of building to do, a little bit of manufacturing. We're running low on car parts, and it's in 4 days, so we need to do emergency. We cannot go into the race weekend with less than 3 of any part, otherwise somebody, if we damage them, is going to end up with having an older spec part to have to use. But anyway, there you go, folks. The championship rumbles on. How many races do we have left? Let's have a look. We are currently here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 races to go. Although I did say, and I do stand by this actually, that when both championships are wrapped up, mathematically, we are going to end the series. Because I'm not that fussed about who finishes second in the constructors and who finishes third in the drivers. It's quite close, but I'm not. I'd rather start 3 Kingdoms, to be honest. So yeah, as soon as it's mathematically impossible for Lewis to be crowned champion and us to be crowned constructors, that's when the series will end. So I don't know how much it will be, but I'll do some calculations. I'm thinking probably maybe even as early as Singapore might be. Around about here. It'd be quite nice to end the series at the Japanese Grand Prix. And I'll tell you why. Because the Japanese Grand Prix used to be the curtain caller of many a season. This was always the last race on the calendar for many, many, many years. Until we got some of these other places like Mexico, Abu Dhabi and all that kind of jazz. So it'd be quite nice, for old time's sake, to end the series at Japan. You know. Japan, I used to remember, yeah, my fondest memories of the Japanese Grand Prix was Mika Hakkinen winning his 2 titles there. A big Mika Hakkinen fan, but yeah. So that might be where, even if we have mathematically sewn up both titles before Japan, we might still go to Japan for the last race. We'll see. But anyway, what's the standings now? What standings? Oh, you mean in terms of I've gone through the standings? I mean, I didn't go through the calculations, but there's McLaren. We are 260 points clear, and Lewis is now 67 points clear. So that's almost 3 races ahead. I don't think he's going to get 4 races ahead, unless something happens to Lando, maybe. So, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think most likely United States, probably. Because technically speaking, 3 races is 75 points, and if Lewis Hamilton retires in every single one, you know, it's mathematically possible. So I reckon we're probably going to be ending it here. Drivers have a development point. Let's put it in before I forget, because I forgot to do Hamilton's before this race. So I will put it into smoothness. Ooh, so it's 91. Who says it's in decline? And for Lando, let's put it in. And we put it in. Put it in reactions, because that's his lowest stat. We'll kind of even him out. Oh, adaptability could have been good for his wet weather. His defending is pretty weak. But you don't have to defend in the fastest car, do you, really? So that's fine. Anywho, there you go, folks. We'll just quickly save this, and I'm going to go forth now and enjoy the rest of my day. Get ready for football, get myself G'd up. Maybe even have my fabled egg medley, which is a boiled egg, paprika, cheese, salad cream, bit of salt, mash it all together to get you that little boost of energy before football. That's a little bit of boost. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Short notice, but always good to see you. Certainly better than playing a private stream on your own. So yes, hopefully see you on the weekend for some Plague Tale Requiem. But before then, I'll bring you at least one more recorded session of something on Saturday. So have a good one, folks. Have a good weekend, and until next time, I'll see you soon.